We're with AK1200, Elements of Bass, exclusive interview at the show in Springfield, no doubt. As of now, I mean, what do you feel as the scene of drum and bass has progressed over the last 10 years?
Oh my God, over the last 10 years it's progressed immensely, but I guess nowadays it goes year by year, and this last year has been really, really slow in America, and it's starting to get to the point to where it's starting to, like maybe the first couple of months of next year, it'll start to pick back up and it'll get better and better and better. But I mean, it's gone through peaks and valleys, you know what I mean? Right now it's been a downswing.
Hey, you guys, it's time to go!
I think it's going to be getting better, you know, in the next couple of months.
That's not waiting for me.
Okay. What influence in D&B do you think has driven D&B back to a peak and brought it back down again?
I think if I'm going to be honest, I think what went wrong with drum and bass was people would come up learning about drum and bass when it was at a tech step, already drum and bass, when it, like after it was jungle.
Right.
So they tried to get so deep and so deep and so deep, and they went like so far off a side road that it was a dead end, and the only way to get back is to come back to where you think it went wrong and start over again. And I think that's what's kind of happening. There's a lot more jungle. There's a lot more. There's a lot more tunes that have dub and soul and R&B and hip hop and even rock and just rare groove and stuff like that. Whereas for a while it just got so synthetic that it was techno or breakcore, you know. And it's just, I think that number one, that took the soul from drum and bass, and number two, it took the female audience from drum and bass. And when you lose that in a club environment, especially in America, all across America, it's a huge decline for promoters. Promoters don't make money, they don't want to book drum and bass DJs. You know, drum and bass dudes with their arms crossed that only like hard tech step. They'll buy one beer at the bar and maybe a water and sit there and cross their arms and get pissed off about what they didn't like about the DJ. When you can go see a DJ like a house DJ or whatever, like people that are fans of other genres like Tiesto or Armin van Buuren or Paul Van Dyke or whoever, you know what I mean? People like that, Sander Kleinenberg. Those are people that are there to have fun, and already before they even get to the club, they're there expecting to have a good time, to dance, and have a blast. And people with drum and bass sort of lost that. And now we got to just get back to that.
Right.
And there's a lot of tunes that do that, you know what I mean? There's, like the new Brooks Brothers tune, Tear You Down, is huge. And it's all over Radio 1. It's like, that's like a house tune turned into drum and bass, you know what I mean? And that's what it might take.
Well, do you think that the jump up genre or subgenre of drum and bass is kind of coming back in to kind of bring people back into drum and bass? Or?
I think in England, jump up is the biggest form of drum and bass.
Right. How about America?
In America, people are still fixated on calling certain things like wobble or whatever, but jump up is the dance floor form of drum and bass. And again, in order to get back to the benefits of success within drum and bass, you need to have a dance floor.
Of course.
And you know, it's not internet music anymore. I mean, it never was. It became that for the last 3 or 4 years. It became this weird geeky internet music, and nobody wanted to touch it. No magazines. Trust me, I've been out there promoting people that I believe in that have never been signed, have never been taken seriously, and we'll do an album like Gridlock and I did an album, Autopsy,
Right.
and we hired a press agent, a really, really well-known, famous, connected publicist that had ties with like Playboy, Maxim, Spin, Billboard, Rolling Stone, FHM, all that shit, and they wouldn't touch it because drum and bass is such a cursed word right now. And I think once it gets back to being jungle again, maybe we'll have a shot.
Do you think that education with the newer age of people that listen to electronic music will help in any kind of way?
I think another thing that happened was for like the last 5 years, fewer and fewer people as they turn 18.
Right.
Like for a long time, when you turn 18, that's when you discover clubs and club music. But for the last 4 or 5 years, when people turned 18, they started going to like rock bars, emo, goth, like
Different
hipster
influences.
shit,
Right.
hip hop. Like they were just steered away from dance music in general, let alone drum and bass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think now it's starting to come back around, and people that new generations that are coming up, they're turning 18 or whatever,
Right.
or 21 or whatever it is, they're starting to discover clubs again. Whether it be a house DJ, a trance DJ, a breakbeat DJ, a drum and bass DJ, it's still starting to get back to that. All the commercials that you see on the TV and like the backdrops to like Top Chef and shit is all electronic. You know what I mean? Like everybody's using electronic in their sound beds.
Right.
Film, TV, shit like that. And I think that's subliminally gonna set people up for getting back into that music, because rock's kind of played out right now. Hip hop's certainly played out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There hasn't been any good hip hop since Tribe Called Quest and Freestyle Fellowship and shit like that.
No T.I., no...
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like,
Weezy.
shit, my Superman, shit,
Right,
that ain't,
yeah, well...
that ain't hip hop, man, you know what I mean? And
No doubt.
so I think now we're at a point to where they're starting to pay attention. They want something different. There's a lot of electro house. There's a lot of glitch stuff. There's like a lot of dubstep that's coming out.
Right.
Who knows what happens, man? But I mean, look, man, it's 2008, almost 2009. I'm 37. I've been doing this since I was 18. And I'm gonna do it until I can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a way for me, like, obviously, like, I'd rather be in the background. I'd rather one day not, well, I mean, if I could financially afford it, not DJ, and just try to run my label and run, like, try to help people out with their shit.
Of course.
Because I've taken pride in the fact that I've taken certain people's careers and helped sort of advise them on certain things.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's my contribution
To the
to
scene.
the scene. Yeah. So there it is.
Any insight on the new label?
I have a
What to
new
look
label
forward to?
called Big Rhythm Recordings. I used to run A&R for Moving Shadow for 7 years, the last 7 years. And Rob Playford, the owner of the label, has been sidetracked, partnered up working with a guy named David Arnold who does film scores. And Rob, as an aide to David Arnold, has done the film score to the last 3 Bond films, and like Changing Lanes, Stepford Wives. He actually even helped Danny Elfman on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
But since that, he's lost touch with drum and bass, so he decided to shut the label and keep it as a historic thing. So what I've done is I've started a label and am using some of the foundation for Moving Shadow and resources. I mean, Rob's my best friend, you know what I mean? So it's like my first release is something that originally came out on Moving Shadow. It's Technical Itch and Kamal, The Calling, remixed by Evil Intent and E1, which actually was done for Diesel Boy's Substance D CD.
Okay.
The B-side of that is going to be a new glitchy electro dubstep sort of remix by Evil Intent and E1. The next single is going to be by a group that I sort of found, man, and they're really, really good. I played 2 of their tracks tonight. They're called The Click. They're from California, and that's an example of me trying to advise somebody into where to go. And these guys are going to blow up. They're really talented. And then the third release is Muffler. Again, the A-side is called Falling. It originally came out on Moving Shadow, but this is a 2009 remix of it. Lots of other things coming up, but again, there's certain things, there might be certain remixes for Moving Shadow background or back catalog coming out on the label.
Okay.
So it's just whatever I can do, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that I do for myself, my own productions probably going to come out on Project 51 because Gridlock and I are partners with a couple things. So
You know each other for a while though, right? Since he's from Florida as well.
yeah. We've been down for a long time.
Cool.
Long time.
Okay.
So we got a lot of stuff coming out. We have a promo out right now called Porn Star Feeder, which was me and Danny Breaks did Porn Star Style in 1990, I think, and maybe 91. No, 1999. Sorry.
It's okay.
1999. Anyway, we did this track, and Gridlock, because we were doing this Autopsy album, took one of his tracks, Bottom Feeder, and mashed them both up together, and then added some other stuff to it, and that's coming out. That's the A-side. The B-side is me and Gridlock called Dub for Dub, which we did in like, I don't know, I stayed at his house for like 3 days, and then it just came together, boom, 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 and that tune's getting played by every big DJ everywhere. Like, everybody's playing it. Goldie, Andy C, Hype, Friction, everybody.
Cool.
And it's out on promo right now.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
check that out, and that's about it. Big up Springfield, big up Elements of Bass, and make it jungle.
No doubt.
For sure. We want to thank you again for the interview.
For sure. I appreciate the time, man.
Anytime.